Chapter 2. The Weight of Peace. The moon cast a pale glow over Konoha, veiled by clouds like gauze over an old wound. Below, the village lay still serene on the surface, but humming underneath with the quiet ache of a place built on memory. Itachi walked beside Hikaru in the darkened streets, his step soundless, as though he feared disturbing something fragile. Every motion was deliberate, unintrusive, like someone afraid to disturb a dream he wasn't sure he deserved to be in. Konoha had changed, Hikaru said, glancing at lantern-lit windows and empty alleys. It looks stronger, but it feels tired. Her voice carried a soft ache, as if speaking to an old friend she barely knew. He nodded, shoulders slightly hunched, absorbing the weight in her words. It is. Peace was earned, but it came with a price. His tone was measured, haunted by unsaid stories, as though each word was a stone placed on a buried grave. They followed the winding road up to the Hawkage Monument, stone faces carved into the mountain, silent sentinels watching over a village of memories and ghosts. The village below them glowed amber and gold, unaware of the conversation forming at its highest edge. "My parents never came back," she said softly, eyes tracing the weathered profiles. "That they still keep their eyes on this place. On you. On what happened." Her words trembled like petals in a midnight breeze. It was the sound of someone carrying loss without letting it hollow her. He glanced at the carvings, as if searching for her parents' remembered faces among them. Names he never forgot, names carved into him in ways stone never could be. He didn't speak their names, he didn't need to. "You heard about everything." "I heard enough," she replied, though her voice carried both sorrow and conviction. "They said you were a hero." "No. I was just someone trying to undo what couldn't be undone," he murmured, voice low. He swallowed, as if the admission left a lump in his throat. Hikaru's eyes softened. The wind teased a strand of her hair loose from the braid that trailed like a scarlet river down her back. "They also said Sasuke thought you died." "He did," Itachi said quietly, eyes distant and clouded. "And in some ways, he was right." He stepped closer to the railing, the glow of the village painting half his face in warmth, the other half in shadow. "I gave him everything in our final battle, the truth, my regrets, the reason behind it all. Then I collapsed. I thought I'd never wake up again." A silence passed. Stillness, not empty but reverent. "But you did." "Yes," he said, voice barely above a whisper. "Someone healed me. Someone who never gave their name. I lived. But in the stillness that followed, I realized I didn't know what to do with peace." Silence settled between them, heavy and reverent. She studied him, longing and uncertainty warring in her eyes. "Does Sasuke know you're alive?" she asked. "He found out not long after the war ended," Itachi answered. Hikaru's voice softened. "Did he come to see you?" He shook his head, expression pale. "No. He left without a word." Again, but not out of confusion or grief this time, out of anger and disgust. "At you?" "Yes. And at the village." She stepped closer, the night pressing in around them. "Why'd?" "Because in his eyes," he said, tense, "I chose Konoha over him again." He looked away, the village's glow reflected in his eyes. "I stayed. I became a shadow to this village. I protected it from the edges, cleaned up what no one else saw, and watched over the people I once called enemies and friends alike. I thought it would be enough, that maybe my presence, quiet and useful, would justify my survival. I thought maybe that was enough. But Sasuke," his voice grew colder, "he hasn't forgiven me. Not for lying to him, not for surviving, and especially not for returning here." She watched her hands, as if seeing them for the first time. "He still hates the village." "He always has," Itachi said, pain softening his tone. "Even after the war, even after fighting for it, decided his hatred never faded. He sees Konoha not as a home, but as the graveyard of our clan." They were silent, the night heavy around them. "And you?" Hikaru asked softly. "Do you still love this place?" He took a long breath, voice shaky with unspoken history. "I don't know if I love it," he replied, "but I can't turn my back on it. I tried once. That led to everything that followed." He turned to face her, eyes reflecting exhaustion and clarity. "Sasuke and I, we're both ghosts now, just on opposite sides of the same wall." Hikaru's fingers tightened on the edge of her cloak. Her voice, when it came, was hushed but clear. "And what about me?" she asked quietly. "Am I on one side, or neither?" He looked at her, not as the girl he once knew but as the woman who had walked back into his life through silence, fire, and dusk. He held her gaze, searching. You were always the one thing untouched by this war, he said, voice softening. That you're not the same girl I knew. No, Hikaru said, determination steadying her voice. Because I've learned that peace isn't something you find. It's something you protect, even when it breaks you. He studied her face, a flicker of awe in his eyes, but also recognition. She didn't just radiate power. She wielded presence, quiet, but unyielding. The power you carry is something strange that I cannot recognize. What is it? Her lips pressed firm, words restrained yet resolute. It's not time to say it yet. His gaze softened yet remained sharp. Will it hurt anyone? She paused, the weight of her truth pressing into the night. Only if they force it to. He nodded, a silent pact forming between them. And you didn't come alone, he said quietly, voice lowered. No, she replied. Something awakened upon my arrival. It's quiet now, but it's waiting. I can feel it under the earth, like it's listening. Their eyes met, and for a moment, everything stilled. The air between them is thick with unspoken futures. Itachi looked down at the village, shadows and light dancing across his face. I wonder, he said softly, voice hollow with the weight of secrets, if we're still paying for the sins buried beneath us. Then let us uncover them before someone else weaponizes the truth, Hikaru replied with steady resolve. And far below, beneath layers of stone and silence, something stirred, not chakra, not jutsu, but blood and memory.